Hi BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I thought I would very briefly come on and just tell you a little bit about what I've read recently, or a book, one particular book I've read, and the books that I'm currently reading. They're all very different actually, which is quite nice. The book I've just read is called Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Now, I recently read another Penelope Douglas book, and she typically writes romance with really steamy elements, and also somewhat controversial or perhaps taboo themings in there, and relationships, and she explores how they work. And I think, you know, some people like it, some people don't, and so far I've really enjoyed her books, and this one was no exception. It was a 5 stars from me. And it's very, very rarely that I will give a romance book a 5 stars, because I always feel like you've seen it before, and so in order for it to get 5 stars, it really has to have raised what it's doing to a level. You know, it can do the same things as you've seen before, but it needs to give you those emotional feelings that you're looking for from a romance. So this one was told in dual perspective from our 2 main characters. One is Jordan and one is Pike, and Jordan is a 19-year-old girl. She comes from a broken home. She's got a bit of a sort of hard home life. Her sister is a stripper who has a young son, and she's been living with her boyfriend who is the same age as her, and they were friends for years, and it has sort of become a boyfriend and girlfriend. And when something happens and they have to move out of their flat, they end up having to move in with the boyfriend's father, and he's sort of in his late 30s, she's obviously 19, and it's about a relationship that forms between the 2 of them, and how that works, and how that affects people. And it's hot and it's steamy. It's really well done. Like, the relationship aspect of it is quite slow burn. It's not, ooh, you know, we fancy each other, let's rip our clothes off, that's it. There's more to it than that. There's more to it, and what people expect from relationships and what people are looking for, and I just thought it was really well done. It had all the elements that I was looking for, so I definitely recommend this one. I haven't read all of Penelope Douglas's books. I've got another one of hers which I think is even more controversial, which is called Credence, and I read Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas recently, and that was my first by her, and that's what prompted me to pick up this book. And it definitely had a totally different theme to it, but it really was amazing emotional connections you had with the characters, and there was a sense of believability there, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, now I just want to talk to you briefly about the books that I'm currently reading. My big book that I picked last month was Forever Amber by Kathleen Windsor. This is a chunker of a book. It's about 1,000 pages. It's quite an old book. When I mentioned it to my mum and my nan recently, they both said, oh, I've heard of that, and I think my nan said she'd watched the 1940s film, which is definitely one I'm going to try and root out. But this says the original bodice ripper. And I suppose it is to a certain aspect. It's historical fiction with romance in there. We're following a girl called Amber the whole way through, a young woman I should say, and at the beginning she is living in the country. She is orphaned, she doesn't know who her parents were, she's been living with sort of a foster family of sorts, and they're expecting her to get married, and she doesn't want to. She wants more, she wants to go to London. She forms an attachment with a soldier passing through and convinces him to take her to London, and this starts years and years of her life in London, the changes in power and politics, the way that London, you know, society is run, different husbands she has, love affairs, intrigue, a mistress to Charles II. We go through the plague, and that was quite a meaty chunk of this actually, and a part I thoroughly enjoyed because I didn't know anything about the plague and how it affected people. You've got the Fire of London. I mean, there's so much in here. It's just a real but it is a page turner. I'm listening to it on audio and following along reading the book, and I've just loved picking this up and reading sort of 100 pages a day. I'm down to the last couple of 100 pages, and I should finish it this weekend, and it's definitely going to be a 4 star. I can't imagine that it won't be a 4 star. It'll be the ending that sort of helps me decide whether it's 4 or higher, or yeah, whether it drops down, I don't know, but at the moment it's sitting at a 4 star, so I'm loving that. And then I've started my TBR for April, which, if you knew, was I am doing Sarah's Nightstand's 5-star reads from her Goodreads for the whole month, because I need some more 5 stars in my life. I need to get this sort of mojo back of reading, and we have very similar tastes. So the first one I've picked up is Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. I've got quite a few Colleen Hoover on my list. This is the one that was the one that I was least excited about, and so far it's okay, but it hasn't really been drawing me to pick it up. There have been other books that I've wanted to pick up over it, but I'm going to persevere, because it may be one that I just get sunk into. The writing style is certainly engaging. It's just the story so far I'm finding a bit quirky and strange. It's about this family that live in this sort of old church, and they're a bit of a disjointed family. There is the dad and stepmom, and there's twins and elder boy, and then there is a stepbrother from the new stepmum, and then the real mum lives on the floor below, and the stepmum was her nurse when she had cancer. And at the very start of the book, our main character has kissed her twin's boyfriend, but she didn't know it was her boyfriend, and now there's this weird, there is a lot going on. It's very odd, but I think it's going to come into its own as I keep reading, so I'm determined to carry on with this one. I've just got to find the right time and just sort of sit down and just read a chunk of it, I think. So I'm reading that one. And then I wasn't set to be judging the BookTube Prize round 2, but there was a lot of people, obviously, because of everything that's going on at the moment, that couldn't get hold of books, didn't feel like they could do it. So Robert asked me if I would take part and do a category, so I am doing one of the categories. And one of the books in my category, which I'm very excited about, is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I've heard this is amazing. I'm expecting this to be amazing. It's Chanel's story about the time that she was raped, and it's taking back ownership, I suppose, of herself. I think, you know, the tie-in with the name here is that her name wasn't released when the you know, when the whole process and court proceedings was going ahead, to spare her you know, the trauma, and now she is sort of saying, it's me, this is my name, this is my story, and sharing that with everybody. So I'm really hoping that this will be a good one. I've got it on audio, so I'm going to follow along with the book, but that is my task. Oh, there's one more. Okay, this one is like my guilty pleasure read at the moment. I am loving it. It is literally like reading an episode of Greek. I don't know if anybody else watched the TV series Greek, but I loved it. And this is Rush by Candy Steiner, which is the first book in the Palm South University series. It's written from multiple perspectives, which I wasn't sure I was going to like at first, but I am really enjoying. And it's set in a university, Palm South University, and it's just, it's all of their lives. It's set in sorority houses and fraternity houses, and about the things that are going on with the girls there. And as you can tell, this one is sort of set in sort of Rush Week and also beyond that. It's about, you know, people in the sorority houses, what happens during Rush Week, and particular people that join the sororities during that time. And so far I'm really loving it. It's been really good. It's just a gobble up read, and I love the fact that you read like a certain number of chapters and people's perspectives, and it's like episode 1, episode 2. It is like reading a TV show. So this is definitely one I can see myself continuing with the series. So yes, I'm very much enjoying this one. So quite a few books on the go, 4 books, and I'm hoping to finish 3 of them this weekend. It's Saturday morning now, so at the moment I am homeschooling Matilda and going to school. We do it in rotas. So I've been homeschooling Matilda. So at the weekends, and when I say homeschooling, we are doing quite a lot. We do something from 8 till 3. We have a break in the middle for lunch, and it's not all like sit down and hard work. We do fun stuff. We do PE with Joe Wick, which is really good fun. And I read to her, and she has snack time. And but we've planned the day, because then it makes the day go quicker. It makes us sort of feel like we're achieving something and moving through things. So at the weekend, we just have the weekend off and pretend it's like a normal weekend, just that we can't leave the house. So I've got a lot of more free time this weekend, so I'm going to be doing a lot of reading, and also we're going to put the tent up in our back garden, and potentially Jamie and Matilda are going to have a little sleep in the tent. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but at least it will be up and it'll be something for her to play in, which will be really nice. So I'm excited about that. But I've got a list. I've set myself a list because I love a good list that I can tick off. So I wrote myself a list of things I wanted to achieve this weekend, and so one of those things, well, 3 of those things, is to finish 3 books. I would like to finish this one, I would like to finish this one, and I would like to finish this one. This is the one I'm not so sure I will finish, but that is the aim. And then I would like to have started at least this one by the end of the weekend. So quite a few things to do. Maybe I will tack on to the end of this video the my final ratings on these and let you know, well, not this one because I can't talk about it until after the round's out, but if I do manage to finish these, I'll come back in and insert a little slip now of what I thought of them and my final ratings. But in case I don't finish them this weekend, I will definitely come back and tell you in future, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.